Welcome back to another episode of the Honest Texan Podcast. I am your host, Josh, and I am a multimedia journalist. And today, I want to talk about great state of Texas and Governor Greg Abbott sending illegal immigrants to Washington D.C. And now to the state of New York. So with that said, let's get into it. This is from this is Business Insider. Let's see here. I'm gonna give credit. It's by Katie Balovic. I hope I didn't butcher your name, so forgive me. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has sent over 6,100 immigrants from the border to Washington D.C. His office said on Friday. After the 36-hour journey to D.C.'s Union Station, migrants who exit the charter buses are met with volunteers from mutual aid organizations to help them get settled, but not officials from the local or federal government. NPR reported. It was really crazy because they were just leaving them on the street. Abel Nunez, executive director of D.C. Central American Resource Center, told NPR. We knew it was on its way, so we were there since 5 a.m. just waiting for them, along with mutual aid organizations, Nunez added. It was incredible how shell-shocked these people were coming out of the buses. In April, Abbott announced that he would send charter buses of immigrants to D.C. to help Texas cope with the latest escalation of the Biden border disaster. It came after the Biden administration announced the end of Title 42, a pandemic-era public health order that blocked many migrants from entering the U.S. Because of President Biden's continued refusal to acknowledge the crisis caused by his open border policies, the state of Texas has had to take unprecedented action to keep our communities safe, Abbott said in a statement. On Friday, Abbott announced the first arrival of a charter bus of immigrants in New York City, which will now be a drop-off location for the busing strategy as part of the governor's response to Biden administration's open border policies, the statement said. In addition to Washington, D.C., New York City is the ideal destination for these immigrants, who can receive the abundance of city services and housing that Mayor Eric Adams has boasted about within the sanctuary city, Abbott said in a statement. I hope he follows through on his promise of welcoming all migrants with open arms so that our overrun and overwhelmed border towns can find relief. That's just funny. While criticizing Abbott, New York officials said the immigrants, over 40 of which arrived Friday, will be welcomed to the city. Governor Greg Abbott is continuing to play with the lives of human beings. We think this is cruel, it's disgusting, and it's pure cowardice, said Manuel Castro, commissioner of the Office of Immigrant Affairs, per CBS News. And that looks like that's it. I'm going to give my quick 2 cents on this. It's illegal immigration. I don't know how else to explain it. I know they're called migrants, I get that. But you enter a country illegally. You're immigrating to a country illegally. Illegal immigration. That's not hard to understand. And in the state of Texas, yes, you can tell. I'm not even on the border, but I can tell that we have added a lot of people here. And first off, I'm just gonna say this: if you think that all illegal immigrants are Hispanic, you're a racist. Because not all illegal immigrants are Hispanic. Not everyone coming through those borders, through the southern border or through Mexico, is Hispanic. You have Haitians, you have Africans, you have Arabs. There are plenty of different ethnic background people, or whatever you want to call it, that are coming in the country illegally. And America really only has so much space. So, but I know it's a sensitive subject, and I get that. So, I'm not saying you should just turn these people away, but they should be able to come here legally, through documentation, through all of that, or stay in Mexico until you can get get your papers processed or what have you. But I don't, coming illegally. No, I'm sorry. That to me, that's just wrong. You can't immigrate to Mexico illegally at all. You can't do that to other countries illegally. You can't go in their country and be like, hey, I'm gonna stay here. No, they'll arrest your ass. Look what's going on in Italy. Yeah, I believe it's in Italy. You have a lot of African migrants, African immigrants who are coming to the country illegally by boat. And I mean, they have a problem. You can look it up. They have an issue. But no, I think what now, my personal opinion about Governor Greg Abbott sending buses to D.C. to me is I like it. I find it interesting and I find it comical. You send it to D.C. Now, sending them to New York, that's I mean it's messed up. It's funny, but it's messed up. But at the same time, I don't know. I think he should just keep sending them to D.C. New York really doesn't have anything to do with it unless New York tends to butt in to Texas affairs. But again, and you'll see that later on when I play a video and everything else. But no, I mean illegal immigration. You have Congress, the president. They don't want to actually uh, They don't actually want to deal with illegal immigration. They don't. You can find a way to deal with illegal immigration and have a clear path to citizenship. I mean, but not every country is just going to let thousands upon thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants come in their country unnoticed or just all willy nilly. It's just not going to happen. No other country is doing that. I mean, hell, even when Syria was going through all that, and they're still going through some stuff. But when you had all these Syrians coming over to Europe, right? Fine, we understand it. It's war going on over there. My opinion is, give them guns, let them fight back, fight for your country, fight for your home. I don't understand that. I don't understand the need to just run away and not fight for your country, not fight for the place that you grew up. I don't understand that. But Europe took in a lot of Syrian refugees. And there was a lot of chaos after that. There was, I believe in not Germany, but in England, you had acid attacks were up. You had people getting hit and killed by cars were up all around Europe. And it's because it's a cultural difference. And it's a religious difference. So unless you're going to mesh with the country that you're coming into, you're not going to get along. And assimilate, that's what I mean. So you're not going to get along. And I'm not saying that you have to forget your culture, you have to forget your religion. I'm not saying that at all. But you're coming to a country, you want a country to take you in. Right? You want a country to take you in because of the troubles that you are having in your country. But you're not willing to assimilate to those countries' laws, or you're not willing to assimilate to that country's culture. And I get it. I get it to a certain extent. But again, you're asking this country, whether it be the United States, whether it be Italy, whether it be France, whether it be Germany, whether it be England, to take you in. But you're not going to not even try to assimilate into their way of life, into their culture. No, you're going to force them to what? Do it your way? That never works out. It never works out. But in this case, sending the illegal immigrants to D.C., I'm all for it. I think it's a brilliant move, to be honest with you, because now playing with people's lives. All these politicians are doing it. All of them. Abbott, Mayor Davis of New York, Joe Biden, President, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. All of them are doing it. Because these are people, these are human beings. And it is sad that this is going on. It's sad that they're having to leave their country and trying to find a better way of life. And I get why they're leaving their country. Crime is high. You don't want to deal with the drug lords there. You don't want to deal with the cartels there. You don't want to deal with the corrupt government. I understand that. I do, and I have empathy and I have sympathy for you for that. Um, but this is not the way. Let's continue. Here's an NPR. This is Mayor Eric Adams of New York. Let's see what he has to say. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is criticizing Texas Governor Greg Abbott for sending busloads of migrants to the city, saying that Abbott used innocent people as a political pawn to manufacture a crisis. No, the federal government is using them as a political pawn. And yeah, I guess, no. Yeah, he is too. And he's sending them straight to D.C. and to New York. But, again, who created this situation? The federal government did. Unlike Governor Abbott, New York City will always do our part, Adams said via Twitter, after his office posted images of the mayor greeting migrants and refugees arriving at the Port Authority bus terminal in Midtown Manhattan. He's saying that now. But if Abbott keeps sending these migrants or these immigrants to New York City, he'll change his tune. This is horrific when you think about it, what Abbott is doing. Adams said on Sunday, according to the Gothamist website, which reports that more than 4,000 immigrants have arrived from Texas so far. It's gonna be a lot more. New York isn't alone. Abbott's office says Texas has already sent more than 6,100 migrants on buses to Washington, D.C., reported by NPR. Both cities are now the main targets in Abbott's program to send people who recently crossed the U.S. southern border to locations on the East Coast. Look, I am sorry that this is actually going on, but maybe these other states, maybe these other cities will see what's going on here in Texas and Arizona. And I'm going to leave out California because California, they'll let anybody in. But, if we're saying you want people to follow the law except when it benefits you or except when you want to follow a political agenda and you want to let people in. So, yeah, we'll let you in. Well, yeah, Texas is letting everybody in, or Texas is letting these people in and sending them to D.C. and sending them to New York to let them deal with it. I'm not mad at Abbott for doing it. New York, I used to like the state of New York. I don't like the state of New York no more. But so, it doesn't matter to me about New York. But, no, the federal government has manufactured this crisis. And they refuse to do anything about it. So if you're going to let people just come across the border in droves, then yes, you're not going to overwhelm the state of Texas. You're not going to overwhelm us. We're going to start sending them to D.C., which they should. And D.C. already has a lot of issues. D.C. already has a lot of crime issues. So we'll see how this impacts that. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. Both Adams and D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser are asking for federal aid to help their cities cope with the new flow of migrants, many of whom are being assisted by volunteers, nonprofits, and shelters in addition to city agencies. Now, I'm not against helping people because people need help. I understand that wholeheartedly. And that's great for these nonprofit organizations that are helping them. I applaud that. I wish more nonprofits would do that. But I also wish the government would get off its behind and actually do something about this issue. But they're not. So you have Muriel Bowser, who is the mayor of D.C. In the past, she has made some comments about, illegal immigrants or about migrants and about letting them in all willy-nilly and everything. So, no, you get what you get. D.C., all of D.C. get what they get when it comes to this. Again, I don't have a problem with it. Abbott and Republican leaders in nearby border states are seeking to blame Democrats for the country's long-standing immigration crisis. No, this falls on Republicans and Democrats. It falls on both parties. It falls on both political parties because y'all have not done anything. On Friday, Abbott, who is in the midst of a re-election campaign, mocked Adams' description of New York as a sanctuary city, calling it an ideal destination for these migrants. I mean, you call it a sanctuary city. We're going to send it there. We're going to send them there. Even before Adams spoke out, Abbott and his peers were focused on making political points off of the immigration crisis, with critics saying the politicians were risking the well-being of people seeking asylum. All y'all politicians do that. It ain't just Abbott, and it's not just Republicans. Democrats do the same thing. Every last one of y'all politicians do it. You can't, if you ask a politician a yes or no question and they refuse to say yes or no and they give you a long-winded answer, you can't trust that politician. Can't trust them. These politicians are not your friend. They're going to say whatever they want to say to get reelected. And it's sad. Abbott has unveiled a string of headline-grabbing immigration policies this year. First, as he faced two staunchly conservative challengers in the GOP primary, and now as he tries to shore up his lead over Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke, who's not Mexican, ahead of the November vote. I'm sorry. I cannot stand O'Rourke. I think he's Irish. No, I'm sorry. You would be a terrible governor. You were a terrible candidate for president. You would make a terrible governor. He's a yes man. That's all he is. Beto O'Rourke is a yes man. He will do whatever if he gets into power, if he gets into governorship, he will do whatever these corporations say. He will make Texas a lot worse. A lot worse. One, he wants to get rid of all your guns. He's already stated that. He's already stated that he wants to get rid of all your guns. So that alone should you're not. I don't see him getting elected in Texas at all. And I'm surprised they even put him on. I'm surprised he's even trying to go for the governorship. I'm surprised. But again, I don't know. He's weird. Some of Abbott's policies have opened up the governor to criticism within his own state. His April order imposing safety inspections on trucks crossing the border from Mexico created massive slowdowns and was later blamed for billions of dollars in U.S. trade losses. Look, I can understand that, but I mean, if you have smuggling going on, which we do, we have a crap ton of human smuggling and drug smuggling going on. Wouldn't you want to make sure that these trucks don't have people in there, or don't have these drugs in there? There was, I believe it was recently in Houston, where they found a truckload of immigrants. I don't know if they were dead or not. I can't remember, but they were found in there. So I mean, you wouldn't expect these trucks. Now, I'm sorry if it costs, the U.S. billions of dollars, but the U.S. wastes billions of dollars every day. Every day they waste billions of dollars. They sent $80 billion to Ukraine. Why? That ain't our war. I mean, I get it, it's a proxy war, but, whatever. I don't know. The highly publicized border inspections by the Texas Department of Public Safety resulted in 0 apprehensions, Texas Public Radio reported. Look, it's a messy situation, but Congress needs to get off their butts and do something about it. And they're not. They're refusing to. Democrats and Republicans both need to do something about it. It's just not right. And yes, you are playing with people's lives, but at the same time, I guess it's the way life is. This is the way the game is played. This is the way the political game is played. Congress, Republicans, Democrats, President Biden, get off your butts, do something. This has been another episode of the Honest Texan Podcast. Y'all have a great day.